I'm Micheline Pitt, and I collect vintage, creepy, and monster board games because I love the box art. I have probably about 10 different board games and like activity games in my collection that are from like the 60s. I don't search for them actively online. They kind of just like pop up. Like almost all of the ones I've gotten at like a flea market, you know, at a store or at an event. But the Haunted House board game is the holy grail, most expensive, rare board game. So imagine like Clue.
Who done it? Where? And how? Clue. Solving this mystery can be murder.
Or 13 Dead End Drive.
The fun's alive with 13 Dead End Drive.
It was by Ideal Games and it came out in the 60s.
Every child in the New York metropolitan area will see Ideal's messages over and over again.
So what's interesting about the vintage board games in the 60s is it's kind of had a resurgence of the spiritualist movement, and all these board games for children came out about fortune telling and talking to the dead and bizarre, surrealist, spiritual things, and it's so creepy. And I don't have Ouija boards. I don't collect those because in my family we call them devil boards.
Ouija. It's just a game, isn't it?
I kind of have one that's the Jewish equivalent of that, which I don't play it for that very reason. So just so everybody knows, this Kabbalah game is essentially taken from the Kabbalah, which is technically Jewish mysticism. Research that on your own and kind of get into that more because I'm not an expert. So astral projection, astrology, occult, this all sounds like this is gonna end terribly. I literally think this is the premise of a James Wan movie.
I want to play a game.
Essentially, you are then supposed to chant.
What the hell are they doing?
Where this comes from, I have no idea. But you're supposed to say Pax, Sax, Serax.
Holla, Noah, Nostra.
I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, which is probably good. So yeah, I won't ever play this, but the box is cool. So another one of my favorite vintage games that I have is another Transmogram game, and it's called the Green Ghost game. I love it because, again, Transmogram just had the best box art. It looks like something you would see in like a 50s advertisement.
You know it's pure and good. It has the Parents Magazine seal.
This is a Thingmaker toy featuring Fright Factory. Scare 'em, shock 'em, thrill 'em, mold 'em, hairy, shrunken heads, skeletons, bones, teeth, scars, lips, and more with Mattel's electric Thingmaker.
And this is Danny Dixon, and this is Danny Dixon. How did he get that way? With Mattel's new Fright Factory and his Thingmaker. Just plug it in, pour in genuine plastic goop, and out come fangs, claws, shrunken heads, and all sorts of scary things. Mattel's new Fright Factory.
You have your Thingmaker. This is an oven that would get really, really hot, and you would make little tchotchkes, or as other people call it, shrinky dinks. Okay, you've now melted a bunch of plastic, which are in these metal molds, that you would pour your goo into, and you could mix colors and different elements. So it's a 2-part mold. You have all kinds of different pieces, eyeballs. You make a little bracelet, skull and bones. There's a bunch of plates in here. I like the fingernails. You would ask like, well, how would you pick up the scalding hot thing? Oh, just these like weird tweezer things that probably didn't work, and you would burn yourself. And then this plastic fork, which as you can see has already started to melt whenever someone originally used this. Seems really safe and legitimate. But yeah, this is the toy that started an entire movement of kids' toys in the 80s and before then of making like really weird things that you could stick on your face. I don't think my collection will ever be complete because there's always going to be something out there that I don't own. I mean, even people that have massive collections, there's even books about their collections, they're still collecting, and they're like double my age, so I don't think it's ever gonna stop.